One unique country is home to many animal species that are found nowhere else on Earth. Vietnam. Its spectacular landscapes are as diverse and remarkable as its animal population. However, humans are claiming more and more land for their own purposes. Displacing the animals and endangering their existence. Who survives? And who faces extinction? As human activity encroaches on the wilderness, the animals find themselves trapped. For now, some refuges remain. Remote, untamed habitats, like the mysterious mountain rainforests of North Vietnam. The rainforests in the mountains of northwestern Vietnam are practically impenetrable to outsiders. The perfect hiding place for one of the most endangered animals on the planet. A mammal with scales. Unfortunately, it is this very feature that puts the Sunda pangolin at risk. Also known as scaly anteaters, pangolins are the most trafficked mammals in the world. Estimates suggest that as many as 100,000 pangolins are caught illegally every year. Their protective armor is an effective defense against animal predators, but not against humans. The North Vietnamese mountain forests are extremely remote, which provides some protection from poachers. But it also complicates efforts to help preserve the species. Forest rangers must be vigilant, constantly checking for poachers and their traps. It's an ongoing battle of David against Goliath, and there's no resolution in sight. Vietnam lies along the eastern coastline of Southeast Asia. From north to south, the country is around 1,600 kilometers long. At its narrowest point in the center, it's just 50 kilometers wide. From the capital, Hanoi, flat plains extend to the Gulf of Tonkin. However, most of northern Vietnam is defined by its rocky topography, which is covered in lush mountain rainforests. Many of the rarest animals in the world seek shelter in these remote, hard-to-reach areas. A female pangolin has settled into a burrow. She was rescued after being captured by poachers and is now safe in a sanctuary. And she's not alone. The pangolin has recently given birth. Her offspring is just 15 centimeters long and weighs 340 grams. The birth of a pangolin in captivity is a rare occurrence and is hardly ever witnessed by humans. The pango pup's scales are initially soft and light, but by the second day, they begin to harden and grow darker. They consist of keratin, just like human nails. However, pangolin scales are believed to have medicinal properties in some cultures, particularly in traditional Chinese medicine. As a result, the vulnerable animals are captured and killed in large numbers. For now, the newborn pangolin is safe in the sanctuary and spends its time investigating its home. Eventually, it is time for the inquisitive pango pup to return to its mother's embrace. The mother's body forms a protective shield around her young offspring. At the first sign of danger, pangolins coil into a ball. This makes them easy prey for poachers, who can simply pick up the coiled animals and place them in small nets. The pango pup's mother was freed from just such a net. As a result, she can now care for her baby in safety and give her little one the best possible start in life. Vietnam is bordered by the South China Sea. In the northeast, dozens of craggy rocks rise from the water, creating a spectacular, mysterious backdrop. The rocks lie in Ha Long Bay, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Over millions of years, rain and seawater have joined forces to shape these coarse limestone formations. They are covered in thick vegetation. Few animals have settled in this inhospitable habitat. Among them are some of the world's rarest primates. Cat-ba langurs. Avoiding injury from the sharp edges of the rocks demands intense concentration and exceptional dexterity. Research into a similar langur species in China has revealed that the animals never put a foot or a hand wrong. They have stronger arm muscles and are lighter than their tree-dwelling relatives. The talented acrobats are only found here, on Cat-ba Island. No other langur species has so little territory. It is estimated that, some time ago, the population of Cat-ba langurs was in the hundreds. 20 years ago, it dropped to just 40. The langurs do reproduce, but they still remain critically endangered. Human activity continues to encroach on the already limited langur habitat, making it increasingly smaller. Despite their uncertain future, 11 Cat-ba langurs were born in 2023. The fur of the infants remains a bright orange for the first 4 months of their lives, then begins to darken gradually. After 18 months, the young animals will look more like mature langurs. 11 births in just 1 year, yet the population remains small. How does this happen? Langurs require secluded, peaceful caves to rest in. These have become rarer as human activity gets closer. Experts estimate that just 20% of Cat Ba Island is still suitable habitat for the langurs. Without human interference, the island could support as many as 2,000 animals. The population has recovered slightly, and approximately 85 langurs now roam Cat Ba. No matter what happens, these langurs will never be found anywhere else. Small pockets of certain species are common throughout Vietnam, particularly in the Hoang Lien Mountains in the northwest. It is a region of high peaks and dense rainforests. Mist and rain keep the land moist, creating ideal conditions for mosses and ferns. The subtropical rainforest is a unique habitat, home to a wide variety of predators and prey. Many of the species that live here are exceedingly rare. Some are immediately noticeable, while others prefer to keep a low profile. Like the Austin's palm civet. The civet uses its long nose to explore the forest floor. These palm civets are only found in northern Vietnam, neighboring Laos and a small area in southern China. Carefully but quietly, the animal seeks out its preferred victims. Earthworms. Palm civets also eat fruit, including the cherries of coffee plants. The cherries leave the animal's digestive tract semi-digested and fermented, giving the coffee produced from them a distinct aroma. Known as kopi luwak, or civet coffee, this has become a popular delicacy. However, civets are hard to find in the wild. As a result, many are kept in illegal captivity and used for coffee production. Others are killed by animal traps or are sold as pets. It's not known exactly how many Austin's palm civets still exist in the wild. One thing that is known, there are far too many of them in captivity. Vietnam's most imposing mountain peak is almost always obscured by fog. Phan Xiphan is approximately 3,200 meters high. Here, in a world of low valleys and high elevations, individual animal species have evolved into a number of different subspecies over time. Each of these is only found in a very limited territory and is perfectly adapted to its own microhabitat. The many streams that carve their way through the mountain rainforests are ideal for amphibians. Some of them are masters of camouflage. Like the Vietnamese mossy frog. Others blend in with the leaves, branches, or stones. The animals that prey on these well-disguised creatures have also learned a thing or two about remaining inconspicuous. But sometimes it's just not enough. Danger lurks around every corner, on the ground and in the trees. Whew. Now escape to safety. It's time to just hang out. Many of the insects, amphibians, and reptiles here are endemic to the forests of northern Vietnam. Among them is this ancient-looking creature, the Vietnamese crocodile lizard. Biologists from Cologne Zoo only recently discovered the species northeast of Hanoi. Almost immediately, it became clear that the crocodile lizard was endangered. The unusual appearance of this species has turned out to be something of a curse. The crocodile lizard is often smuggled out of the forests to be sold on the black market or in the official wildlife trade with the help of forged papers. In the wild, population numbers are decreasing dramatically. Before long, these animals may only exist in captivity. The Red River flows into Vietnam from China, carrying a wealth of nutritious sediments. The iron oxide in the soils dyes the water red, giving the river its distinctive appearance and its name. As a result of the nutrients in the water, the land along the river has long been used for agriculture. Human activity and cultivated fields stretch out southward. Eventually, the rice paddies come up against the vast wetlands and coarse limestone formations of the Van Long Nature Reserve. It's a small nature reserve surrounded by humans and their infrastructure. The rocks are largely inaccessible to people, so their vegetation has remained substantially unchanged over time. They're also home to another rare species of primate. Delacour's langurs have distinctive black and white fur. The females and young animals of this little group are enjoying a moment of relaxation. The dominant male stands guard attentively. Most of the time, at least. There is not much risk from predators. The real danger is closer to home. A group of young males approaches. The females quickly gather up their young and escape. Young males will often band together, and attempt to take down an older dominant male. Driven by an urge to pass on their own genes, they will also kill young langurs so that their mothers are willing to mate again. Fearing for the lives of their young, the mothers attempt to put as much distance as possible between themselves and the intruders. The Great Escape is a success. Calm eventually returns. The aggressive adolescents have been left behind further down the hill, for now. When they're stronger, they will launch a new attack. Van Long Nature Reserve is home to around 150 Delacour's langurs, over half of the world's entire population. These langurs are one of the 25 most endangered primate species on the planet. The most trafficked mammal is the pangolin. But this young one sleeps peacefully in safety. It is now 2 months old and is developing well. The time has come for an excursion out into the wider world. Boarding is completed. Gripping its mother's tail tightly, the young pangolin experiences the forest for the first time. This is low risk for the mother and her offspring. For now, they are still in the relative safety of the sanctuary. Conditions here are much like those in the wild, but there are no predators. Just unexpected obstacles. There are a total of 8 identified pangolin species around the world. 4 are found in Africa, 4 in Asia. Vietnam is home to Sunda and Chinese pangolins. Pangolins will sometimes climb trees looking for food, including ants. Their sharp claws make climbing easy, but the added weight of a young pangolin can be challenging. The mother will carry her offspring around for some time yet, but the young pangolin will increasingly venture down off the tail, eventually striking out on its own. That's enough excitement for one day. Time for food. Pango pups are nursed for around 4 months. After the meal, it's time for a nap. Before long, the young pangolin will set out on the adventure of a lifetime. The large open-air enclosure the pangolins inhabit is located at the heart of the Cuc Phuong National Park. A vast, magnificent jungle covers the rolling hills of the karst landscape. Giant trees rise into the air, their height and circumference revealing their advanced age. In April every year, butterflies of every size and shape congregate here, 500 different species of butterfly descend on the forests of Cuc Phuong. More butterfly species than have been identified in all of Europe. The butterflies consume valuable nutrients and minerals in swamps and at salt licks. The excess is quickly excreted. Then the time comes to leave. As though following some secret signal, the butterflies all take off at once. The amazing butterfly spectacle lasts for several weeks. But before long, it is quiet. Too quiet. There are very few animal sounds in Cuc Phuong. Throughout Vietnam, poachers target wild animals with traps and weapons, even in the national parks. Primates, civets, squirrels, turtles, and birds are all captured or killed and end up as pets, powders for traditional medicine, or simply as food. Many animal species are officially protected, but the large expanses of forest are a challenge to guard or patrol effectively. In the sanctuary at the heart of Cuc Phuong, preparations are made for a long journey. Poaching in the national park is so prevalent that it is impossible to reintroduce animals to the wild here. The big day arrives for the little pangolin. Huddled close together, mother and offspring are placed in a transport crate. The pangolins are being taken to central Vietnam, where the Annamite mountain range rises along the border with Laos. The mountains here are covered in dense rainforest. The first part of the journey is by truck. But eventually, the only way to continue is on foot. Staff from the nonprofit group Save Vietnam's Wildlife go out on this challenging march several times a year. Their destination is secret. The landscape is so difficult to navigate that few people make the effort to come here. It's the perfect place to release animals into the wild. And yet, even here, park rangers are essential. Poachers can be armed and dangerous. In the last decade, the conservation group has taken in more than 1,600 pangolins that were rescued from captivity. More than half of the animals survived and were eventually reintroduced into the wild. After a long trek, the team reaches its destination, a secret location deep in the heart of the forest. a first taste of freedom. Before long, the young pangolin will call this forest its own. But it still has a lot to learn. From above, large, dark eyes watch the pangolins set out on their new lives. The Bengal slow loris is out looking for food. The loris's giant eyes allow it to see extremely well, even in the dark. But its prey is well camouflaged. The loris can only see the insect when it moves. Not this time. The slow loris lives up to its name. The small primate is about 25 centimeters long, and its long fingers are perfectly adapted to grip onto branches. They are not as good for catching prey. Finally. The loris is the original slow food connoisseur. These resourceful insects establish highly organized communities and constantly expand their territory. Each ant colony can consist of more than 100 individual nests, spread out across several different trees. They're now building a new nest, and the construction work is impressive. Several worker ants use their mandibles to fold over the edge of a leaf. Others bring the larva. The workers pull the leaves closer and closer together. If some ants can't reach, they climb on others. Then the larvae play their part. The ant taps the tip of the larva with its antenna until it begins to secrete a thin silk thread. The larva is then moved back and forth like a loom. Unsurprisingly, this species is known as the weaver ant. The net grows denser and denser. Eventually, it is so dense that it can repel water. A structural masterpiece few animals can achieve. Some of the trees that weaver ants colonize are more than 500 years old. The Annamite Mountains lie along the border between Laos and Vietnam. The region is home to one of Asia's largest contiguous forested areas. And it's also home to an amazing diversity of species. Biologists have identified 32 reptiles here that aren't found anywhere else. And that's just the reptiles. The treetops are home to a highly unusual and truly unique mammal. With its sharp claws and soft fur, it looks like a mixture of a bear, a cat, and a primate. It's called a binturong, and it is hungry. Binturongs make their homes in the trees. Yet their size suggests that it is not the ideal habitat. Fortunately, they have prehensile tails, which provide a measure of safety high above the ground. This binturong seems particularly timid for a heartbreaking reason. The animal spent 14 years trapped in a tiny cage. It has missed out on crucial years to grow its instincts and abilities. Years after it was freed, it finally began climbing again. Their unusual appearance has turned binturongs into popular decorative objects, which are displayed in a range of venues across Asia, including hotel lobbies. Fortunately, local authorities and animal conservationists are often able to rescue these animals. Vietnam's wildlife faces danger throughout the country. The Annamite mountain range is considered the safest refuge here. Phu Mat National Park in particular is protected by a large concerted effort organized by environmental groups, international researchers, and local rangers who have joined forces to fight poaching and work for the survival of the animals. Their efforts are paying off. A familiar face appears out of the undergrowth. It's the young pangolin from the sanctuary. The animal has grown substantially and now roams the forests independently at night. A weaver ant colony lies nearby. Pangolins have terrible eyesight. They use their much stronger sense of smell to find food. By now, the young animal has also learned to climb trees. The ants immediately notice the approaching danger. There's nothing wrong with their eyesight, and their sense of smell is similarly well developed. The warning spreads rapidly. An ant army prepares to defend the colony, mandibles at the ready. The pangolin is singularly unimpressed by the defensive formations. The scaly anteater's tongue is longer than its body and cuts through the lines of ants again and again. The ants try to break through the pangolin's defenses and get under the scales, but there is no way through. The pangolin's belly is protected by leathery skin. The pangolin is also able to close its nostrils and eyes. It advances efficiently, decimating the ant nest. A single pangolin can consume up to 200,000 ants a day, or 70 million a year. A weaver ant colony can consist of around 500,000 ants. An assault by a pangolin can do serious damage to a colony, but it will eventually recover. Pangolins will usually target a range of different nests and colonies in the course of a night. Back on the ground, the pangolin laps up a few survivors. The young Sunda pangolin has settled into its newfound freedom well, but its future in North Vietnam's land of the mountain forests is anything but certain. Vietnam's animal populations face a range of challenges as they attempt to survive the constant encroachment of humans. Not all of them will be successful. And yet, even now, dozens of previously unknown species are discovered in remote areas every year. Vietnam's natural world may still have more surprises in store.